A very good morning to you guys. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. This is Asake Online. My name is Brighton. We're coming live from the City Hall today to celebrate Bulawayo Day and also celebrating Bulawayo Arts Festival. Joining me to unpack and understand more about this festival and about this day is Nesisa Mpofu, the Corporate Communications Manager for the City of Bulawayo, as well as Nomashawekazi Damasane, the Arts Culture Heritage Officer. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
I'll start with you, ma'am. Maybe give us a background of the festival. What is the Bulawayo Arts Festival all about?
Thank you. Bulawayo as a city is known for a rich cultural heritage, and this has been nurtured over the years. If you look at Bulawayo, when it came to infrastructure development, we have youth centers that are dotted around the city. We also had a very vibrant youth programming where we were teaching young people skills in whether it's craft or in dance and in music. And over the years, we've had this talent growing, and it is our desire as a city that we tap in to the creative base and turn that into value. So the Bulawayo Arts Festival is a platform that we are using as a city to not only celebrate our heritage, our culture, but also to build up Bulawayo as a cultural hub, Bulawayo as a cultural capital, by ensuring that we start to produce and promote the creative sector as an economic pillar for the city.
Allow me to bring Noma into the conversation. Noma, just assume your position as the Arts Culture Heritage Officer for the City of Bulawayo. Speak to us more about this role. And as an artist, how do I benefit from this role?
Thank you so much, Brighton. So I believe that the arts, culture, and heritage role is very, very simple. We are here to firstly preserve our arts, preserve the culture of the city, as well as the heritage of the city. So that goes into the tangible and the intangible products that we have. It's also us planning and curating events. So we're creating and curating events that allow the artists from the city to showcase their work, to showcase their cultural prowess, so that every citizen in Bulawayo gets to know our cities. We begin to celebrate our own Lapa Ekhaya before we actually get them to be celebrated outside of the Bulawayo borders. And I think as creatives, the office goes beyond just artists. The office goes to the cultural experts that are there, the historians, the people that are into preserving our buildings, for example. So all these are various stakeholders that can benefit from our partnerships and us working together with the office.
Speaking of celebrating Bulawayo, allow me to bring back into conversation, ma'am, around the issue of this day came about a council resolution, and then there was a debate in council chamber and so on. Speak to us more about that day when they were debating in council chamber there around this day celebrating Bulawayo and this culture.
Thank you. When we look at the actual date of the day, Bulawayo Day, it actually came through engagement by stakeholders, towards the artists and various other stakeholders in the city that came to Bulawayo City Council and said, as the people of Bulawayo, we feel we don't have something that brings us together. If you look at the festivals that we have, most of them are run by, whether it's private festivals or they are not embracive in the sense that we need a city festival. So the cry was for a city festival. And I think the date itself was largely to look at when the city was established. So that's how it came about. But also Bulawayo Day has been very key because we've been able to identify the talent that is within Bulawayo and to make sure that they're given these platforms. What is of interest is that over the years, there has been that understanding that it's just to say June 1, it's just a day that was selected, but the gist of the matter is that we are celebrating ourselves, we are celebrating the city's heritage, and we are celebrating our future. Remember, Bulawayo is not just a Zimbabwean city, it's a global city. And our thrust is that our arts, our creatives must have a huge global impact. And that is what we are doing. These platforms and these performances and engagements ensure that we are projecting Bulawayo as a creative cultural hub internationally.
Norma, yourself, you're an artist yourself, you're a poet and do other many things. Bulawayo has just declared this day Bulawayo Day, and there's a Bulawayo Arts Festival to celebrate our own through culture and arts. What does this day mean to you as an artist?
So I think as a creative, it allows me to understand that my city appreciates the work that we do. But not only there just to entertain, but we're also bodies of people that bring value to who we are as a city. So it's very important, I think, for us to be seen and heard by the city that creatives, we are people that actually bring significance to what we do and what the city is all about. We cannot be called the cultural capital of the country without that artistic cultural aspect. And I think as a creative, I really do feel honored and blessed that the city recognizes and is giving time for us to be recognized and to be seen.
Before I go to the schedule of the event lined up for this coming week for the festival, allow me to ask you, ma'am, around the issue of Unaza Mzilikazi. How do they benefit from this festival and this Bulawayo Day?
Thank you. When you look at the festival itself, it's not a centralized festival. It's dotted all over the city. We are going into the community halls. We are going programming for schools. So already it means the audience or the performances are coming from different areas. So if you are in Mzilikazi, you already have areas like McDonald Hall, you have Standy Hall around the corner. So you can go in and perform. And also it's a walking distance. So the packaging of the festival itself is targeted at different age groups in the sense that it covers from primary school right up to Okoko Labokhulu. What's interesting this year, we also have a very special packaged program where we are dialoguing or interacting on the Ncube festival itself, its implications for someone who is in modern day Bulawayo. So those lecture series or those discussions are key in terms of widening our understanding of who we are as a city. So if you live in Mzilikazi, you take a walk to the nearest wall, you take a walk to town, Mzilikazi is around the corner, but also you can participate through your school because the schools have been called in. There's a school's performances where we are bringing in school children to perform. We also have the junior council conducting the spelling bee where school children are coming in. So I believe that as a city, or as a citizen of Bulawayo, resident of Bulawayo, the question is, what are you going to do? You can do so much. Don't allow yourself not only to be a spectator, but be a participant. Come in. We also have the crafts area where people can bring in their crafts and you showcase what you are doing. That's a potential market that will allow you to not only sell on the day of Bulawayo Day, but also, let's say, get potential orders. Because as you expose yourself to bigger markets, the chances of you getting more clients increases. So don't sit back, don't spectate, come and engage with the people of Bulawayo, come and be exposed.
But still on that, before I go to Noma, there's always a cry from artists in terms of benefiting from this festival. Some have said, no, so-and-so is benefiting, so-and-so is benefiting. How artists are benefiting from this festival? Besides artists, actually, there's a huge stakeholders. Who is benefiting from this festival, besides me being a creative?
I think benefit must be divided. People think benefit is monetary. So monetary, I would say no one is benefiting. Because if you look at what we are going to pay the artists, it's a token. There is no artist that will be able, with the money that we have, and the festival's budget is 30,000 US, there are very few artists that would actually pay to full value from that budget. But artists are coming in with the understanding that the city has limited resources. So artists are also more or less donating their talent, but being given a token. So already they are not benefiting financially. You also look at maybe the other benefits that comes is for the partnership with commerce and industry. We have a lot of partners that are coming on board and they'll be able to showcase in terms of brand visibility, their products and also their brands. But what is also key, the benefit to the city is not monetary. When we look at cities, they are more or less divided into two. You've got hardware, then you've got software. The hardware are the roads we see, the clean water that we have. Maybe in the case of Bulawayo, people put a question mark, but the clean water that comes out of our taps, maybe the social services, the health, but all these are hard infrastructural developments. What is key is the software, because we have to develop the people that live in the city. What am I saying? If you look at Bulawayo, you look at the youth centers and the recreation centers that were there, those were all efforts to mold the mindset, to mold the morals of young people so that they become responsible adults, responsible citizens. So through the festival, we are saying this is our culture, this is our identity at individual level, because culture is not, it sits on different levels. As an individual, you've got your own personal culture, but that culture means you have intentionally made an effort to grow yourself, to identify your talent, to nurture yourself, to say, I'm going to be this person. So as a city, we want individuals to also come out of their shells, whether it's celebrating their art, their creativity, their dance, but it is through those individual culture. When it's packaged, it then becomes the city culture, it becomes the corporate culture of Bulawayo. And what we need for Bulawayo now is to have a corporate culture that is global, that has tolerance, that has love, a corporate culture that is welcoming. Remember, we also have a very strong cultural tourism program that we are running as a city. So in the festival itself, we'll be going through the carnival, passing through various cultural tourist sites. Like you have the Inwala site, we also have Joshua Nkomo statue, as well as the city hall itself. These are heritage and cultural sites that we use when we package Bulawayo. So in terms of our culture, we benefit a lot because we are now saying we value Bulawayo. If you look at the issue of littering, once we have that recognition that Bulawayo is a tourist site, it's an attraction, and it's at global level, everyone is mindful to say the environment is my responsibility. If I don't look after it, it means when people come, the perception of the city is affected, and no one wants to visit a dirty city. So in terms of the intangible benefits, they are numerous. And that is what we are pushing as a city. We also value the partnership with various stakeholders. So that's also the goodwill that we benefit. I think that's quite a nutshell, but this festival benefits at this stage cannot be monetary. And it is our desire that as this festival grows, remember it's getting better every year, perhaps next year we start looking at international level. We already have sister cities that we work with. We can start inviting them, inviting groups. It has to be consumed at international level. So it's not just about starting and doing this festival, maybe in Ziligazi. The Ziligazi festival or the people performing at McDonald Wall should also be attracting people from Australia. They should be attracting people from the United Kingdom. That is the bigger vision. It's not just a small thing that we are doing. It is a vision to become internationally recognized festival in a creative city. And also we already have the attributes. She's mentioned some of them, the heritage. We have the museum, we have the matopos. All these are internationally recognized tourist attractions. And we are saying even during the festival, because the festival runs for a particular period, but after that, people must come back and consume the tourist site. They must come back even when they come back for the exhibitions, the conferences that are held here. All those will start to generate an economy for the city. So it is a big vision that we have, and that vision is what we are nurturing, even with these legal steps. And also maybe the growing of the artists themselves, because Bulawayo is renowned for producing internationally acclaimed artists, and all these started performing in Bulawayo. So when we give people platforms, we are also saying we believe in you, the city values you, so that we're not celebrating people when they're outside our borders, but they're able to be celebrated here at home and also be given the platform so that they are also known internationally and are able to go and showcase Bulawayo to the world.
Noma, I saw a lineup for the festival, the spelling bee for the kids, gospel concert. Take us through the lineup for the festival. What can we expect from the festival?
All right, so I'll start with the 1st of June, which is our Bulawayo Day. And we're going to start off with the Carnival Parade. And this Carnival Parade is open to every single person that calls themselves proudly Bulawayo. And in this parade, we want to showcase and show off our cultures, our various and diverse cultures that we find in Bulawayo. I like to term Bulawayo a melting pot, where it's probably one of the only cities in the country where we have such a plethora and diverse groups of people across tribes and across skin color as well. So it's really open for a lot of people to come through and do that parade. And as Mrs. Mpofu has mentioned, that we're going to be doing part of the urban heritage corridor as part of our parade. After that, we're going to come back to the large City Hall car park, have a few speeches that will be done by His Worship and other guests celebrating Bulawayo Day. Then in the afternoon, we want to celebrate the legends that come from Bulawayo. And we want to honor not all of them in one day, but we want to honor some of our legends, those that are still living and those that have passed from this earth, through a concert that we're calling Gontutu Legends Concert. So we just want to celebrate them through song and celebrate them through just the work that they've done to put Bulawayo on the map. On Sunday, on the 2nd of June, we're having a gospel concert. It will have local artists from the city. In the evening, we are having our official opening of the Bulawayo Arts Festival, and that will take place at Stanley Hall at 5 p.m. And thereafter the official opening, we're going to have Black Umfolosi alongside the Bulawayo choristers giving us a concert. On Monday, like she has mentioned, we have Inqwala Memorial Lecture celebrating what Inqwala was and what it entailed from the musical and fashion perspective. Why Inqwala? And that's going to be facilitated by uGogo Begezela, who himself is an artist that comes from Bulawayo, but currently residing in South Africa. We also have the school's spelling bee that is facilitated by the Junior Council. We also have a dance workshop. So we're not just coming to learn how to dance, but we're coming to learn the culture behind certain dances. Why was Inquzu done? By who? For what purpose? Is Chigicha? Was there a specific occasion when those dances were being done? And so that's the cultural aspect of the festival. Moving on to Tuesday, we've got the schools showcase. The schools showcase is us celebrating abantwana from primary schools and high schools that participate within their dances, poetry. We've got some of the winners from, I think, Chibuku finals that took place sometime last year coming through. And it's us saying abantwana can also be a part of our arts and culture. They are artists in their own right. We often hear of child stars overseas and they literally balloon up. And here we want to also say there's probably some children that are going to be amazing stars at that small age, and we want to celebrate them. We're also going to have on the 4th of June, I Wear My Culture, curated by Paper Bag Africa under Gilmore Kawe. And that is also just us celebrating our culture through fashion. And that's a good fashion exhibition as well as documentary showing us how vast and diverse our culture is through our clothing. On the 7th of June, we end our festival with the Imbowodo concert, an all-female concert celebrating Indlovukazi zakoBulawayo. And that's also going to be our official closing ceremony of the festival. So I think I have put together everything. Yeah.
Are these events paid or free entry?
So all the events are free entry except for the Black Umfolosi, which will be paid. A paid entry. We also have events that are taking place in the community halls. As mentioned earlier, McDonald will have the Inqwala performances. Stanley Hall, over and above the Black Umfolosi being there at Stanley Hall, we are also having dance workshops there at Stanley Hall. Inyati Youth Center will be having a youth concert. We're also using amphitheater for the school showcase. So all these events are free entry.
Mm-hmm. Guys, if you're just joining us, I'm in conversation with Nesisa Mpofu, the Corporate Communications Office Manager for the Bulawayo Council right here in Bulawayo, and also talking to Nomashawekazi Damasane, the Arts, Culture and Heritage Officer for the City of Bulawayo. Let me come to you, ma'am, as we close up the show this morning. There are many cities across the country, but Bulawayo stands alone as a cultural hub, as a city that celebrates its own culture. How important is to celebrate our own culture? I know some of us are young, our culture is now dying, we now don't speak in How important to celebrate and observe this day, celebrating our culture?
Thank you. When we look at culture, culture is a way of life, but it's anchored on values, beliefs, traditions. As a people, it's key that we are able to preserve that culture. There are things that our parents, grandparents were doing that are very key, even in modern day Bulawayo. For instance, the values that they instilled in us. I've heard people say, umuntu wako uyakhanya, because there's a particular way they carry themselves. Balobuntu. So those are things we want to take forward. And also that recognition that I am different. There is something in me that makes you unique. I think that is what this festival is about. That's why you can come and be yourself. You don't have to want to be what you saw elsewhere, but you come and be yourself. And it is that self-identity and city identity that we want to promote and to nurture. What is also key is that the culture we have has values, as mentioned, personal values, which we want to ensure can preserve the city even when we are gone. Because these values will determine the kind of person that is brought up in Bulawayo. Long after we have left the city council, left this earth, there will still be the heritage in terms of the person saying, this is what I learned when I was growing up. This is what my grandmother taught me. And this is what I have become. So when we look at Bulawayo, we are also molding people. We are allowing people to value who they are. The festival is also allowing people to value their environment in terms of the heritage and to celebrate diversity. Remember, we are bringing people from different cultures. In Bulawayo, as she mentioned, it's a melting pot. We are saying, even with your culture, with your different dance, craft, and even food, celebrate that. That's what makes you Bulawayo.
Speaking of food, Noma, are you going to expect festival? In closing, Noma, what can you expect? What can you say to Muntu sending over this show of festival? What can they expect? I know someone asking about speak to us more about that in closing.
So I know definitely at the Inqala Memorial Performance Lecture with Ugogwegezela, there is food that they want to showcase there. Ukudla kwesintu. What exactly? You have to come and see for yourself. But just to somewhat answer your question in its entirety, we need to expect to see some good performances, to see some good artwork that is going to be given to us by the creatives. I like to always say Bulawayo artists are one of the most hardworking artists that we have in the country. And that is evident by how much they travel and how much we've exported of our own talent from the city. So we want to see a lot of explosive performances. We're going to see like mixtures and certain ideas. We're trying to fuse certain artistic styles and to fuse them together. So there's a lot of experimental work in terms of from a creative perspective that I think will bring some flair and some life into the city. Expect to be taken care of in terms of your mind. Your spirit, your mind and your body is going to be taken care of by the entertainment that is there. We are in a world where everyone is stressed. So I believe the festival will also give us, a moment to forget about the stresses and to just focus on the other stuff that is there in life, and to allow us to keep you warm this winter. Like we like to say, wow, we own winter. Bulawayo Arts Festival owns winter, and we want to keep you warm.
Definitely, I'm rocking my Bechu come the Sunday, opening up for this festival up to Sunday next week. So yeah, I'm ready for the festival. Miss Mpofu and Nomashawekazi. Miss Mpofu, any closing remarks for this one?
Thank you. As a city, our vision is to be a leading, smart and transformative city. And as Bulawayo, the smartness is not only in the digital infrastructure that we may put in, but we also want to be a green city. So on the 1st of June, we've partnered with World Bicycle Relief to celebrate World Bicycle Day. As part of the procession or carnival, we have cyclists that will be joining us, but an invitation is being sent out. If you have a bicycle or tricycle or monocle, I don't know what to call the one cycle thing, you are welcome. So we have a lot of artists, a lot of cyclists that will be celebrating with us. It's key that we celebrate World Bicycle Day, because when you look at the environment, we need to manage and to reduce our footprint in terms of carbon footprints as a city, so that we become an internationally green city. And smart mobility is the way to go. And smart mobility is basically saying walk, use a bicycle, use mass transportation. So on World Bicycle Day, we all are invited to be on our bicycles and to save the planet.
I'm tempted to ask you, will you be cycling on that day? But anyway, let's move on. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Well, I've been watching The Breakfast Club this morning, talking to Nesisa Mpofu, the corporate communications manager for the city of Bulawayo, and also Nomashawekazi Damasane, the arts culture heritage officer for the city of Bulawayo. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we value your feedback. We want to hear from you guys in terms of this festival that's going to be happening from the 1st of June. I hope you guys enjoy the festival, and from myself, Brighton, it's bye for now.